Hello everybody, Joe Bagnotes here. Welcome back for another episode of Umineko. Episode's coming up a little late today. I meant to record yesterday, but I had a volunteer thing I had to go to, and then I went to go mow my lawn afterwards because I managed to fix my lawnmower somehow. I didn't do anything else to it. I just let it sit for a week, and then it just started working. Unless it just needed time to let the oil flow into the system or whatever. Definitely overfilled the oil though, because it was smoking like a steam locomotive after I got it up and running for a bit. And also, after that, I proceeded to be incapacitated for the rest of the day due to the extreme amounts of pollen that was being kicked up and me breathing it all in. Like, I was super short of breath. And not because, the minute physical labor of pushing my lawnmower. It's just because my body was, freaking out from the amount of pollen I had inside me. I was in no state to do literally anything besides just sit and wheeze in my chair. But I'm good now, for the most part. Still a little stuffy, but just took some pills, got my coffee. Now, let's see how this Yasuda person became Beatrice and turned into some Machiavellian supervillain who really wants to get back at the Ushirmiya family, question mark?
あんたちびぼうきどうしたの？
窓枠掃除用に使ってなかったっけ？
I would use a broom to clean window frames. Ah. The small broom is a small, thin broom that looks like a large paintbrush. We use it to clear out the dust in small corners, like window frames. I would just use a rag. It's one of the cleaning tools I was put in charge
し
of.
っかりしなさいよ。あんたに任せたでしょ？何やってんのよ、どんくさい。
But I know which one they're talking about. It's like the one that it snaps into the dustpan.
ほら、急いで探しておいで。奥様に見つかる前に。急いで。
どうした？ヤスがち
Save
び
us,
ぼう
Belphegor.
きまたどこかでなくしてきたのよ。こいつ、物をなくす
Even though
天
that's
才。
not your name, but
だからヤスに
I
物を
can't
持
be
たす
bothered
な
to
とい
learn
つも
all
言
your
っている。
real people names.
そいつはそそっかしいからいつも物をなくす。
No one knows the little
一生
brother
懸命
because
やってるんだから
I just used
そんな
my
こと言
nasal
っちゃい
spray
けません。
right before I started recording, so.
ほら、急いで探してらっしゃい。待ってるから。
Okay. Not wanting to hear the servants complain even more, I spun around and headed off. If you lose a tool, you get in trouble. Yup. If no one knows who did it, we all get yelled at. So, one of them will probably tell Madam that it was my fault. Still, it's my fault that I lost it in the first place. I wonder when I lost it. When? We did a big clean of the entire chapel today. The chapel is a large building behind the mansion. However, no one ever goes near it, normally. Even so, we're ordered to clean the chapel a few times each year. Kinzo calls it a sacred building, so Natsuki is very strict about it. We cleaned every little nook and cranny from top to bottom. It took all day. I've been put in charge of cleaning the window frames, but I was also given many smaller tasks. While those small jobs kept me busy, I must have completely forgot about the small broom, and left it lying around somewhere. I hate myself for doing this. This isn't the first time this has happened. It happens all the time. Every time I set something down, it always disappears. It always goes somewhere else. Vanishes. I've come to think that these might be pranks played by the witch Beatrice. The ghost of the witch Beatrice borrowed the power of Rokujima's evil spirits to become reborn. Until Kumasawa-san told me, I never knew the meaning of the shrine on the rocks by the sea.
熊沢が語りしは、漁師たちの間に語り継がれし古き物語。
Mm-hmm.
かつて六軒島は悪食島と呼ばれ、人の魂を喰ら
The
う
mirror there
恐ろ
keeps
しい悪
keeps
霊が
Beatrice
住んでいた
down.
と伝える物語。
ねえ熊沢、僕たちにも聞かせてよ。
恐ろしい。六軒島の悪霊の物語よ。
Yep, come up on stage.
いいですとも。六軒島はかつては小豆島という名でした。でももっと大昔の呼び名は 悪食島です。
Really gotta stop changing the names.
島に近寄る船乗りを海の底に引きずり込んで魂を食らうと噂されておりまして。
Sounds like there's some uncharted reefs.
そんな恐ろしい悪霊がこの島にいるんでございますよ。
Yeah, we get it, you old bat.
それは熊沢の好む新しい使用人がやってくるたびに聞かせるお約束の怪談。普段ならばくだらないと笑い捨てられるそれも後ろ宮家の屋敷以外に何も存在せず、嵐の夜には不気味なうなりを聞かせるこの寂しい六軒島では、
あの海岸の社は悪霊を封じ込めるためだったのね。
親
Apparently.
方様も薄気味悪いオカルト趣味をお持ちだし。
お屋敷も薄気味悪くて何かが潜んでそう。
Except the building was built like 20 years ago, so.
そうですとも。旅の修験者がようやく抑え込むのが
Well, more like 30 something from this point in time, but you know what I mean.
かろうじて封じ込められてはいますが、今も夜な夜な犠牲者を求めて夜の屋敷を徘徊しているのですよ。うお
親方様の書斎見た？
見たわ。
Yeah, he's a fucking nerd.
まるで悪魔の実験室だわ。
親方様は悪魔の研究をしているって噂だよ。
He's like one of those crystal fairy girls you see on Tumblr.
死んだ愛人ベアトリーチェを蘇らせる研究だって言ってたわ。
Except his hobby is dark and edgy.
その魔法の実験の生贄に子供たちを呼び寄せてるんじゃないかって。
怖い。親方様に一人で書斎に来いって言われたらどうしよう。
Be concerned for your chastity?
なんかね、
You specifically?
昔書斎に行ったまま帰ってこない子がいたらしいよ。
きっと亡霊のベアトリーチェの新しい肉体にする実験の犠牲になったんだわ。
そうですとも。
Mm-hmm.
ベアトリーチェ様が肉体を求め、
Yep, just ad lib.
2階の貴賓室はベアトリーチェ様の住みか。お部屋を掃除するときはくれぐれも礼を失することはあってはなりませんよ。さもないと。
Bitches will eat you. Very
思春
spooky
期の想
Kumasawa.
像力たくましき少年少女たちにとって怪談は恐ろしいながらも魅力的なおとぎ話であ
I
る。
mean, definitely makes the job more interesting.
一つの物語を共有し共感することで連帯感が生まれる。すると共感は義務となり、それを受け入れることが共同体に加わる通過儀礼のようになる。
And then, you know, because it's a little oral story, the little embellishes get added here and there over time.
ずっと昔からそれは繰り返され、
ええ、私も六軒島でお勤めをするようになって熊沢さんや先輩方に聞かされました。
僕も聞かされたよ。主に姉さんにね。
Mm-hmm.
私も聞かされましたとも。主に熊沢さんでした。
臆病
Yeah,
そう
well,
な
you're a
シャ
big
ノンは
scaredy
と
cat,
も
but
かく
she'd probably love fucking freaking you out.
男の子のカノンや大の大人のゴーダまで怪談を信じたの？
僕は別に信じてたわけでは。
Yeah, it's like, don't really believe it, but, you know, might as well go along with it.
怪談やジンクスなどはどこの職場にもあるものです。私がかつて勤めておりましたホテルにもいくつもそういう話がありましたとも。
つまりバカバカしい話だと思って気にしなかった。
No, you still need to pay mind to them, just...
空気を読むってとこはあ
Yeah.
ったかもしれない。
ですね。怪談もジンクスもその職場のローカルルールです。それに新参者が背けば打ち解けることはできませんからね。
そういうこと。魔女なんているものか。バカバカしい。なんて言うと姉さんと喧嘩になるからね。上辺だけでも合わせた方が楽だったし。
Don't fight inside your own head.
もうそんな気持ちじゃバチが当たるよ。大怪我をした人もいたらしいんだから。
そんな感じでどこの職場でも
Sounds
そ
like
う
they
いう
fell down
話
the
はあ
stairs
る
that
もの
night.
です。職場の階段と会社創業者のとんでも武勇伝はどんなに突拍子がなくても受け入れて信じる。それが新しい職場に溶け込むという。
みんな大人だね。
Look, man, they're trying to get their paycheck and go home. I went to each window around the chapel in the order I'd cleaned them, searching carefully in all the places I might have left it. I'd been cleaning the windows with it, so I probably set it down near one of those. When did I leave it behind, I wonder? Now that I think about it, I don't think I had it anymore when I reached the last window, so I must have completely forgotten to clean that window frame. Ah. Through the window, I could see the others leaving in groups. Shannon turned around and glanced up in my direction, looking worried. I don't want to be responsible for making everyone wait, so it's actually a relief that they're leaving without me. Still, naive though it may have been, I wanted them to wait. Ooh. Sun's beginning to set, and the chapel's getting darker and darker. Don't want to hang out in a place like this all by myself. I'd better find the small room fast. No, that's not all. I also need to clean the window frames I forgot. Madam is strict. She'll probably check all the windows carefully. If she does, I'll be the one that gets in trouble tomorrow. But really, where did I lose it? Why did I lose it? The darkness grew and grew. When it became dark enough that I would need a light before long, I began to panic. I dashed around and around the chapel, tears streaming down my face. You know, you can turn on that chandelier. Unless they, have the power disconnected when the building's not in use. As I stumbled about pathetically, I could feel the presence of a prankster witch giggling at me from under the door and up by the ceiling. Weird places for Beatrice to be hanging out, but okay. The ghost of Beatrice, the master's mistress, wanders about in search of a body to this very day. As she gains the power of Rokenjima's evil spirits, her strength steadily grows, and she waits for the day of her resurrection. And, for some reason, she singled me out. And if I ever take my eyes off something for a second, she snatches it away and hides it. This isn't the first time this has happened. Whenever I look away, keys, handkerchiefs, pencils, erasers, all of them vanish almost right away. I put things down, planning to use them later, or because that's obviously the right place to leave them, and still they disappear as soon as I turn around. It isn't someone hiding them as a prank. It's happened many times when I'm the only person around. Everyone always says I'm too careless and forgetful, and they laugh at me, getting mad at me. I do try to be alert, but, like some kind of bad joke, I lose things easily when I forget about them for just a short while. So, sometimes, I think, I bet this eraser is going to disappear just like everything else, and I stare at it. That's the only time when it doesn't disappear. Nothing disappears when I'm alert. So, then I think I'm safe, but the moment I start to think that and relax just a little bit, a different thing will disappear instead. Why is it always me? I think you're just careless. Oops. Yeah, I hear it. I can hear that witch laughing at me as I lamely run around in circles. Listening to that voiceless laugh, I finally slammed my hands against the wall, crying tears of frustration. Please, just stop it. Why do you always hide my things and get me in trouble? Oh, woe is me, the witch answers.
愚か、決まっておろうが、そなたがそうして困ってうろたえている姿が面白いから以外に、どんな理由があろうか。
Yeah, okay. Well, that is her modus operandi. I felt so frustrated. I knew all along that that was the reason, but the witch being so blatant about it was incredibly annoying. I can tell. The small broom is somewhere in this chapel. No, that's not quite it. Until the very moment I walked up to this window, I'm sure it was right by this window frame. That's right, I'm sure I put it here by this window. But the prankster witch Beatrice uses her magic. And just before I reach this spot, she instantly teleports the small broom to the next window over. The instant I approach the next window, a hole appears beneath the small broom, swallowing it up. And it comes out by the next window after that. Lands right there, perfectly still, so that it was there the whole time. And this happens over and over again. As I run up to the next window, the small broom falls into a magic hole and goes to the next window. And when I go to that window, it goes to the next window. That's exactly how she's teasing me, I can tell. So no matter how much I search, it'll be useless. But if I stop searching, it'll just be sitting there by one window or another. So this isn't a search, it's a test of endurance. I keep chasing after the small broom, and Beatrice keeps making it escape to the next window over, trying to make me give up. It's an eternal chase that'll end only when one of us gives up. So I keep going around in circles searching the windows, even when I know I've already searched them. If it's not by this one, then the next one, and the next one. And the witch keeps moving the small broom to the next window and the next one. Okay, yeah, so you're freaking out. You need to calm down and just like take a breath, you know, take a little breather. You're getting a bit flustered and that doesn't help you search. Just give it a rest. How long are you going to keep making fun of me? Oh god, I'm so nasally today. This isn't the only time. You always do this, always. Yep, that's my little girl Yasuda voice. The shrill, voiceless laugh of the formless witch continues to mock my sobbing. The witch is right beside me, laughing at me. As I dash around the chapel, she's following along with me, taunting me. Then, she must be there. She's right behind me, just over my shoulder, cackling away at this very moment. I know that turning around won't help, since she has no form. I can try to look, but I mustn't look with my eyes. Once my eyes tell me there's nothing there, I won't be able to see anymore. I learned that from the director of the Gospel House. You mustn't try to look with your real eyes. You must see with your mind's eye. The whole world is filled with God's love. In the many blessings of everyday life, one can find God and angels and the Holy Ghost. If you look with your eyes, you won't be able to see them. So you won't be able to feel them or understand them. Instead, you must quietly understand them with the eye of your heart. You don't look and have your eyes reflect their image. You see and picture them in your mind. In this way, I learned how to recognize beings not of this world by the world at the Gospel House. This power doesn't only allow you to see God, it allows you to see all those not of this world. Yep, just gaslight yourself into, bringing them into existence, question mark? I'm fine. Ooh. I'll live. Please, stop it now. Stop this prank.
ほう。わらわに話しかけることができるというのか。
Well, you're a figment of her imagination, so sure. I'm clumsy, bad at my job, and I forget where I put things a lot. But I know which things were my fault and which things were because of your pranks.
これはこれは。
I mean, you're probably also the kind of person who, has their glasses on top of their head, and then they can't find them. They search their house for, 10 minutes, where the fuck are my glasses? Or, you look for your phone as it's in your hand, but that's a problem, for a couple decades in the future for you.
姿なきわらわを知覚するだけでなく、わらわのささやかな遊びまでも理解するとは。 思ったよりお前は面白い存在ではないか、ヤス。
I'm usually called Yasu when one of the older siblings is laughing behind my back at some mistake I've made. So when I hear that name, it feels bad. She deliberately called me not by the blessed name given to me by the gospel house, but by that unblessed name. Upsetting the heart is a classic move for evil beings to make. That is their way of attempting to prevent others from perceiving them. To beings like witches, being understood is like shoving them out into the light of day. It won't work. In the gospel house, I learned how to perceive those not of this world. So, I already understand you.
面白いやつだ。吹けば飛ぶような儚い存在であったわらわを捉えて離さぬとはな。気に入ったぞ、ヤス。
Won't work. I understand you now, and you're in my grasp. No matter how many unpleasant things you say, you'll just expose the ugliness of your heart. Without turning around, I slowly let my field of vision fill the entire chapel. It was as though the viewpoint of my soul was floating out from the shell of my head. See? Inch by inch, my field of vision is floating out of my head and drifting upwards. As I look down at myself, standing there with my head hanging and eyes tightly shut, my mind's eye, very slowly, rose up to the ceiling of the chapel. And when I looked down from there, I looked down at myself, standing in the center of the chapel, and the witch standing behind me. Apparently, the witch realized that she was being seen. She turned around and raised her eyes to look at my mind's eye, floating up by the ceiling. At last, I could see the witch Beatrice with my mind's eye.
人間の分際で我が姿を捉えたか。
The demonic lips twist into an ugly curve. It was clearly a challenging, repulsive demon smile. She wore a blood-red dress and a hat. I'm not a big fan of tiny hats, gonna be perfectly honest. The design was completely different from anything humans wore. Her hair was blonde. It had countless beautiful curls, like a princess from a picture book. But there was no trace of cuteness about her.
そなたは他の人間たちとは少し違うように思っていたが、どうやらそれはわらわの間違いだったようだ。そなたは少しどころか、他の人間たちとはまるで違うらしい。
So wanna join her club of imaginary friends? You sad witch, you can be seen by no one, heard by no one. Have you been pulling these pranks all this time just to catch the attention of
わ
humans?
らわの貧弱なる魔力を尽くし、人間どもの隙に介入するが、何をしても奴らは魔法とは思
Well,
わん。
yeah, you just misplaced something.
ほんのちょっとした勘違いと決めつけ。
Like sometimes I'll be searching for my fucking keys like a madman. Like I always put them in the same spot. Where are they? Where are they? And then I open my door and I still just have them in the lock. You know, I turned the key and then I never just took it out and I just left it there. I'm like, oh, I did just mess up.
わらわの存在をケーキのろうそくでも吹き消すかのように簡単に消し去ってしまう。
If so, then I've just saved you. Because I understand you and perceive you.
救うだ
You don't save demons.
わらわにとってそなたとの出会いなど新しい暇つぶし以上でも以下でもないわ。
It's getting dark. I don't have time to play with you anymore.
おやおや、これはすまぬ。夢中で遊んでいると暗くなるのに気づかぬものだ。
Time flies like an arrow. Fruit flies like bananas. Please give it back. My cleaning tool.
ちびぼうきとやらかあるぞ。その隣の窓辺に。
Yep, right where you left it. But as soon as I get close, you'll move it to the next window over.
我が姿が神出鬼没であるように、我が指を一つ鳴らすだけで、このように自由自在よ。
Oh, okay. The witch snapped her fingers, and various things throughout the chapel were sucked into black pitfalls beneath them, disappearing. No, they didn't disappear. The instant they vanished into the dark holes, other dark holes appeared in completely different parts of the chapel, and the vanished objects fell out of those. Chairs, musical scores, clocks, the vases started appearing and disappearing all across the room. It felt as though countless tools were flying about the chapel.
やれはするが、やりはせぬ。さすがにこれではいたずらの域を超えるのでな。
I wonder where the witch draws the line between pranks and magic. When she snapped her fingers again, all the objects flying about energetically returned to their original spots. And silence fell.
そなたをわらわは気に入ったぞ。
Well, it'd be weird if your imaginary friend didn't like you.
わらわを捕らえたとな。それは同じであるわ。わらわがそなたを捕らえたのと同じことであるぞ。
Alright, we're handcuffed to each other like a buddy cop movie. The gospel director told me that I mustn't try to see evil beings. If you see them, they will haunt you. Now that I understood this witch, a bond had been formed between us.
その通り。
Cool, a new social link.
そなたがわらわを認めたおかげで、わらわはそなたとの縁を得た。日々に退屈していたわらわにとって、
What
そ
arcana
な
would
た
you
ご
be?
とき幼子であっても、
The tower?
話し相手が生まれるのは良いことだ。
I'll talk to you from time to time. So, will you stop pulling pranks like this?
いや、話し相手ではない。遊び相手であるわ。
Just gonna fuck with you even more.
遊びならば、いたずらはつきものであろう。まあよい。今日はこれで十分楽しんだ。日が陰り、月が満ちてきた。わらわもそなたの前にいつまでも姿を現すのは疲れる。
Yeah, I need a break.
今日はこれにてお開きとしようではないか。
You need to lie down on the couch, take off your shoes, and let those dogs
ほう
bark.
き一本でそなたとたっぷり遊べた。
Please give it back.
嫌だ。これはそなたとの出会いの記念に。文句はないな。
If I said I'm not, would you give it back to me?
わらわは人間の言うことなど聞きはせぬ。
Yeah, your opinion doesn't factor into this at all.
しかし、友人の言うことには耳を傾けぬでもない。
If you give it back, I'll acknowledge you as a friend.
愚かな人間め。それが魅力的な取引とでも思ったか。
Yes.
わらわに取引を持ちかけたくば、神秘の魔法陣の一つも描いてみせよ。
Yeah, you know, the ambiance needs to be right.
言いたいところだな。
What do you mean, you might?
そなたを我が友人として迎えてよいものか。何しろ魔女は天の弱。答えを求められたら即答を拒むのが魔女というものよ。
Alright. Then, I'll leave the small room with you. Please give it back when you decide to become my friend.
このほうき。そなたとの友情の架け橋となるや否
Weird,
か。
weird thing to bond over, but sure.
しばらく預からせてもらい、それを迷う悦を楽しませてもらおうぞ。
When the witch snapped her fingers, the broom for which I'd been searching so long fell out of a hole in the air, landing between the fingers she had just snapped.
それではさらばだ。そなたとの遊戯、退屈はしなかったぞ。ぜひまた遊ぼうぞ。
If you're my friend, that is.
猫はネズミをいたぶるとき、友情を育んでからいたぶるというのか。
I mean, sometimes you see those like videos on YouTube. The cat that's really bad at hunting mice, and it just like picks them up and carries it to the food bowl. The witch faded away. As she did, my mind's eye slowly closed. When I returned to my body, I felt suddenly tired and let out a let out the breath I'd been holding. Of course, when I turned around, there was no one to be seen. I couldn't feel the witch's presence anywhere anymore. It had gotten very dark by this time. I decided to leave the chapel. There's no point in searching for the small broom any longer, not until the witch decides to give it back. I went out of the chapel. The chapel key had been left in the lock. I used it to lock the door. What am I going to do about the small broom? There's nothing I can do. I can't even blame the witch. I must acknowledge that I'm responsible for giving the witch a chance. I happened to glance downwards and saw a small broom lying there by my feet. It was the broom I had been searching for all this time. Don't tell me. That'll be swallowed up by a dark hole the instant I bend over to pick it up? No. This is a sign from the witch. A sign that she acknowledges me as a friend. I picked it up. Oh. I am one yet many.
この島に来て初めてできた友人はどうやら人間ではないよう
Sure,
だ。
go off, Legion, all that fun stuff.
しかし思い返せばそれは当然。魔女の島でできる友人がどうして魔女でなかろうか。これが我とベアトリーチェの初めての出会いである。しかしながら勘のいい諸見はお気づきのように、
Yeah.
これは本当のベアトリーチェとの出会いではない。我がベアトリーチェと呼ぶその魔女は、
Mm-hmm.
後に他の名で呼ばれることとなる。しかし人ならざるものであることに違いはない。
Definitely not.
そして人ならざるものに縁を持つことは人ならざる世界への縁を持つことともなる。我は未だこれより六軒島で数奇なる運命をたどることになるとは知る由もなか
Oh
った。
yeah, we're only on like chapter 3 of your little story. Way too early to get into the meat and potatoes. Right now we're still in the appetizers, having like the fried calamari and like mozzarella sticks, which honestly sound really good right now. I might order some calamari after this. Well, probably have to wait a little bit even after I finish recording. It's only like 9:30 a.m.
ヤスはどんくさいだけじゃなくよく物をなくしたわね。
なのにさも私はなくしてません。確かに置いたのに誰かが取ったんです。みたいな目つきをしてて
Yeah, she's a
集
dumb
中力
kid.
のない子だった。無意識でぼんやり行動してるから自分の行動がいい加減になる。
Yeah, if you didn't know anybody, you'd think she hit her head as a kid.
でも最初のうちだけですよ。途中からは注意するようになって
Yeah, she's
そういう
special.
こともなくなっ
She's
て
touched.
立派になりましたし。
そうだっけ？まあその程度できて当たり前なんだけどね。
その当たり前ができるようになるのが成長というものですよ。皆さんだって何事も最初から要領が良かったわけではないでしょう。
Yep, don't get mad at the newbies.
というか
Just they're dumb kids.
容量が悪かっ
That's
た
what I tell
ら
myself
後ろ
at
宮
work.
家が推薦されないわ。
Like I didn't know anything either. Like it's fine. This is what you're supposed to do.
私たちはエリートなのよ。幼いからできないとかそんなの言い訳にならないわけ。
だな。ヤスが成長とともに要領を覚えるなら成長してから後ろ宮家へ来ればよかっただけの話。
Don't yell. Don't get mad. Just let them know. Hey, you fucked up. This is what you were supposed to do. This is what you did. This is what you do to not do what you did and to do what you're supposed to do. Boom. There you go. Done.
そんな一生懸
If
命
you do it again, I'll
学
write
校
you
とお仕
paperwork.
事を両立させて頑張ってるのにみんなちょっ
This
と
is
厳し
your
すぎ
verbal
ると思い
counseling.
ます。
Next up, paperwork. After that, escalate even more. So stop it. Stop fucking up.
その厳しい中から選ばれたのが私たちでしょ。私たちに甘やかす義理はないわ。つくづくヤスってなんであんなどんくさいのに選ばれたの？さっぱりだわ。
Nepotism.
福音の家の誰もが憧れる後宮家使用人への推薦。厳しい選考をくぐり抜けて 栄光を勝ち取った先輩使用人たちから見れば、ヤスはどうして推薦を得られたのか不思議なくらい、
Some
いろ
hidden
いろと
power.
要領が悪かった。もちろん年相応には努力している。しかし
There's only so much you can do.
それに納得できない先輩使用人たちはいつしかヤスにことあるごとに小意地悪に接するようになるのである。後ろ宮家での生活に慣れはしても、未だ友人の一人も作れない。
Also a rough one, you know, everyone around you is like at least 10 years
Yeah.
older than you.
いることにはいるの。第3章、虜になる日々。
Alright, Act 3, let's go. Ugh. Oh, my back.
そういう時もありますね。忙しい時に限って。妖精さんがいたずらでもしてるんじゃないかしら。
Mm-hmm. It's a witch pulling pranks on me. I mean, I know I put it right there, and all I did was glance around a bit, and it disappeared. The witch pranked me again. I left my master key behind. Madam found it, and I got in a lot of trouble. Why, when I always put my master key back in my pocket after I use it? Why was it in a place like that? And this is the third time it's happened. The first 2 times, I realized that it wasn't in my pocket and managed to find it before anyone found it. The third time, Madam found it. I was really mad and frustrated with that witch in the red dress.
ベアトリーチェ様のいたずらでは困りましたね。でも魔女が相手ならおまじないでなんとかできるかもしれませんよ。
Yeah, you gotta fight fire with fire. A charm? Kumasawa-san started fishing through the kitchen cupboards, saying, now, where did that get to? Then she finally found and brought to me was a kite string. She stretched it out for me to see, then used a knife to cut off a 50-centimeter piece. Why do you have kite string in the kitchen?
これの端に
Unless you're like using
鍵
it
を
to like,
く
I
り
don't know,
つけ、
wrap a ham or like a chicken.
反対の端はポケットのボタンのと
You
こ
know,
ろ
using it for
にで
cooking,
も
but normally
目
you
立
just
た
use
な
like
いよう
twine
に
for
く
that.
りつけておきましょう。これは雲の糸のおまじないなのですよ。
It's a wallet chain. Cool. Spider webs? Like the ones the evil spirits of Rokenjima
そ
fear?
う、よく覚えてますね。この島の雲の糸には霊力が宿っていて、強い魔除けの力を持っていると言われていました。
Good job, Kumasawa.
ほら、こうしてピーンと張ると雲の糸のようでしょ。これで
But
雲
also,
の糸が
you're
苦手な
literally
ベアトリ
impossible
ーチェ
to
様は
drop your key
も
now
うい
that
た
it's
ずらがで
physically
きないと
attached
い
to
う
you.
わけですよ。
That does make sense. It really does look like a spider web when pulled tight. Now, since Kumasawa-san says so, it must have some pretty strong evil repelling power. I can just ask her to make several of these kite strings for me, and then I can tie them to everything I don't want to lose. But clearly that won't be very practical. I'll have strings all over me. What about things I can't keep tied to me? Like pencils and erasers.
そういう時は別のおまじないがありますよ。
Alright, what's your old wives' trick for this
それ
one?
は鉛筆さんや消しゴムさんにお家を作ってあげるおまじないです
Yeah,
よ。
have a designated place for them. It's like when I carry stuff in my pockets at work. My left pocket, that is for my phone and my keys and my hairbrush. Well, my comb. And then my right pocket, that's my my notebook, my red pen, my black pen, my pencil, and my eraser. So every time I stand up to go somewhere, I just fish through my pockets real quick and do a little count off, like 1, 2, 3, 4, got all those, 1, 2, 3, got those, alright, I'm good to go, not leaving anything behind. Make a house? You mean build a roof and bed and stuff?
お家を作るのではなく、 お家を決めてあげるのですよ。
Yeah, a home.
例えばこのタコ糸を切った包丁さんも
Yeah, it goes like back in the knife block.
僕もうお家に帰るって寂しがり屋さんだからすぐにお家に帰りたくなってしまうの。だからお家じゃないところに置いてしまうと迷子になってしまってクスンクスン泣いてしまうんですよ。ほらこんなところに置きっぱなしにしたから包丁さんが寂しくて泣き出してしまいましたよ。
AKA, when you're done using things, put them back where they go. Poor thing. We need to get Mr. Knife home.
包丁さんのお家はここですよ。ほら家族の包丁さんたちがみんな待っているお家ですよ。ママただいまおかえりって。え
Ah, you're good people, Kumasawa. If only you weren't such a prankster. Kumasawa-san returned the knife to the knife holder under the sink. Under the sink? Well, I guess they have like one of those industrial sinks where there's no like covers, so it makes sense that knives would go there. Even though she had done something so ordinary, I felt slightly moved, as though the little lost knife had finished his adventure and finally returned home. Once he slid into the spot where he was supposed to be in, everyone in the knife family was together again, and they all started talking happily. Then, Kumasawa-san said we should give them their privacy, and shut the door.
魔女に隠されてしまって困るものはきっと寂しがり屋さんなんですよ。だから魔女が楽しいところに連れて行ってあげようねって言うと、そうならないためにはどうしたらいいでしょうね。
By not leaving them around. Take them home right away.
そうですよ。寂しがり屋だからすぐに魔女について行ってしまういけない子たちなんですよ。だからすぐにお家に返してあげないと。ほらさっきタコ糸で縛ったままそこに置きっぱなしのマス
Yeah,
タ
it's
ー
home
キ
is
ー
your
さん
pocket.
早くポケットのお家に帰りたいって。
Sob, sob. I'm lonely. The voice of the lonely master key finally reached my ears. I hurried to pick it up. I took the other end of the string and tied it to my pocket button and put the key in my pocket.
ほらただいまって。マスターキーさんも寂しがり屋だからお仕事で使った後はすぐお家へ返してあげましょうね。
Don't go leaving it lying around.
こういうお友達を少しずつ増やしていけばベアトリーチェ様もだんだんいたずらはできなくなりますよ。
Jangle thud. When break time was over and I stood up to see what I could help with next, I felt a tug and the key ring with the master key fell to the floor. Once again, I'd left the master key on the side of the sofa and forgotten it was there. The instant I stood up, the string pulled on it and it fell to the floor. Without Kumasawa-san's spiderweb charm, I would have probably left that master key lying here again. Why'd you even put the master key on the side of the sofa? I guess you walked in with it still in your hand and put it down when you sat down. The master key, left all alone, would have been led away by the witch and disappeared. Whew, that was close. And once again, I heard the master key, who had almost been left alone, cry and tell me that it wanted to go home. I'm sorry. Come on, let's go back home to my pocket. Yay, I'm home! Back at last! Thank goodness. I almost got pranked by the witch again.
なんと、まあ。
Yeah, that's cheating.
糸で結ぶとは面白い真似を。
All of a sudden, I heard a wild, shocked voice from over my shoulder. It was a voiceless voice. A witch's voice, the kind you can't hear unless you try. Beatrice?
そうであるぞ、我が友よ。ぼんやりとまた鍵を置き忘れるから、それで。
It's a spiderweb charm that Kumasawa-san showed me. It seems to work very well.
悔しいが効き目はあるぞ。とても触れたいとは思えぬ。そなたもカミソリの刃に指を当て横に滑らせた
Yeah,
く
I've done
はあ
that by
るまい。
accident before. The worst part was it didn't actually like break all the skin. It was on my thumb. Like I wasn't paying attention and like went to go grab something and it was laying there. We use razors for like when we make like wire harnesses and stuff. They're good for like slicing through the insulation, but not cutting too deep. They like get the fucking, what is it? Whatever. Don't worry about it. I know what I'm thinking of, but I can't remember the name. What a good electrician I am. Anyway, it like went vertical down my thumb, and it like cut the top layer of skin, but didn't get all the way down where it drew blood. But because it was like so long, when I like bent my thumb, it would split open, and it was really gross. And it more just stung because like all that exposed like under soft flesh skin, the air didn't feel good on it. Ugh, that's a scary example. My fingers hurt just thinking about it.
しかし、良かったではないか。
I'm actually gonna Google what I'm thinking of now because I'm losing my mind. Has to do with capacitance. Capacitor. Yeah, dielectric, that's what I was thinking of. But I'm like, no, that's not it. That's for capacitors, but no, there's dielectrics too in some sort of, so like when you're making a coax cable, there's like clear plastic in there that's used to separate like the central wire from like the shielding. So you don't want to cut that.
また鍵をなくしたと夏日に怒られずに済んだぞ。
The reason I was thinking like, no, you want a dielectric to transfer, you know, but sometimes you want it to have like no, well, you want it to have a lot of resistance, so that way stuff can't go through it. What do we use for capacitance? The ferrets, that's what it is. That's the value for capacitance. We use picofarads.
わらわのおかげだな。感謝せよ。
Why?
わらわが腹立たしかったからこそまじないを覚えたのであろう。そのまじないでそなたは鍵をまたしても置き忘れるといううっかりをこうして防げたではないか。つまりわらわのおかげも同然ということよ。
Thank you, Beatrice/Gap.
感謝されるのも道理であろう。
I really don't like it, but she does have a point. Because of all the trouble Beatrice caused me, I told Kumasawa-san and learned the charm from her. Even without the witch's pranking. If I didn't have that charm, I would have gone to my next job and left the master key here. If that happened, then surely I wouldn't have been able to find the key, and it would have been a big mess.
こういうのを一罰百回という。わらわは友人としてそなたのミスを過剰にいたずらして思い知らせることで、こうしてそなたを立派に教育したというわけなのだ。
Yeah. I get the feeling that Kumasawa-san's the one I should be thanking, not you.
やれやれ、魔女とはつくづく。
Yeah, she got the ball rolling.
感謝。
Anyway, I win this time. Okay, I need to get back to work now.
よかろうとも我が友よ。今回は勝ちを許そうぞ。されど、わらわは諦めが悪い。この負けを取り返すべく、以後さらにますますにそなたのミスを探そうと伺い続けるであろうぞ。心せよ。そそっかしいそなたが置き忘れる小道具などいくらでもある。それらすべてにタコ糸を縛るわけにもいくまい。
Mm-hmm. Either that or, you know, a hole will open up in your pocket. Spiderweb charm isn't the only one I have. I also learned the take them home charm. I won't let you have your way anymore.
どの程度そなたがやれるものか。はい、それにしても、なんとも晴れやかな
Yeah,
笑
the trick
顔
with that
を
one
見
is
せ
you
よ
gotta remember to actually do it.
魔女が来るのは笑う角でなく泣きっ面がふさわしい。もう休み時間は終わっているぞ。せいぜい今日も 先輩たちの足を引かぬように仕事に精を出すがよかろう。
Sure. Today is Sunday, and the weather is wonderful. I'd better do my best.
せいぜい励め。そうそう。レイネの機嫌が朝から悪い。
Okay. Which servant's that?
目を合わせぬ方がよかろう。それから、水難の層が出ておるぞ。水の入ったバケツの近くでは常に注意するがよかろうぞ。
Yeah, don't go kicking any over.
そなたのこと。きっと我が期待を裏切らず、
the hallways are
バケツを
carpeted
ひっ
here,
くり
yeah?
返して叱られてくれることを心待ちにしている。
Because if it's wood floor, that's less of an issue, but... Giggle. Thank you, Beatrice. Back when I could not yet see her, I simply hated this prank-loving witch. But now that I could talk with her, it seemed to me that she was not all that bad. Of course, I felt no need to be grateful to her. The witch Beatrice despises boredom and subsists on mocking the misfortune of others. Humans and witches are different, incompatible beings. And yet, it felt as though we could become friends. Of course, she was still a witch. I could not afford to be careless. However, not being careless is a very good thing. Using charms and tricks to pay attention so that her pranks could no longer work on me was not a bad thing by any means. Those techniques would be useful for my job and my life, even without the witch's pranks. Yes, the witch called Beatrice would go to any lengths to make a point. I learned that it was possible to build up a friendship through verbal abuse. Not the best lesson to learn. You tried your best with Battler, and I guess it kind of worked eventually, but...
あの日から目に見えて変わりましたよね。
いろいろなおまじないのせいかな。
The scales had fallen from her
で
eyes.
すね。あの子は本当に律儀な子だから。私の教えたおまじないをしっかり守っているようでしたとも。
If you know that reference, you're a real one.
いちいちタコ糸で縛って、あるいはいちいちお家へ帰るって。
ええ、時折口に出してやってました。まるでお道具とおままごとをしてるみたいで、とても可愛らしかったですよ。
子供みたい。
子供でしょ。
Well, yeah.
大人になら同じ言い方をすれば伝わりますけれど、子供は本当にいろんな子がいて、いろいろな言い方があるんです。
You know, once you get older, you're able to interpret things your own way to make it so you can understand it. But, you know, when you're a dumb kid, it needs to be spelled out.
それをちゃんと見つけてあげれば、ものは上手に教えられるんですよ。
怒られる方が覚える子、褒められる方が覚える子、いろいろ。
近所の子にちゃんとものをしまわないと妖精さんが隠しちゃうぞって脅したこともありましたっけね。
They're just a shit stirrer, ain't
そ
you?
の妖精があの子の場合は魔女になったというだけの話。
しかし、なんだか運命的な話だね。
だって熊沢はこの子がベアトリーチェの子だって知ってたんでしょ。
I mean...
ええ、知っていましたとも。
ベアトリーチェの子に魔女ベアトリーチェがいたずらするから物をちゃんと片付けるようにって教えるなんて、なんだかおかしいですね。
Yeah.
だからあの子が物を魔女に隠されていたずらをされると言ってきたとき、これはきっと亡くなられたベアトリーチェ様が魔女になって自分の子に物を片付けなさいと教えに来ているに違いないと。だからあの子にはそう教えるのが一番だと思ったのです。
物を置いた場所をすぐ忘れるとかすぐなくすとか、そういう悪評があったのに、それを払拭してからはどんどん明るくなっていきましたね。
弱点は
Well, yeah, when you're not, you know,
克服する
constantly
こと
worrying
で
about fucking
強
up
み
all the
となり
time.
自信となって人をたくましくしてくれるのです。 あの子のそんな日々の小さな成長が、それはもう実の孫のように可愛らしかったですとも。
源氏様、お疲れ様です。
皆、大掃除ご苦労だった。普段使うことの少ない客室だが、いつ何時大切なお客様を止めることになるやもわからぬ。
Yeah, can't go throwing some big wig in a musty bed.
清掃もまた、寸分の気の緩みもあってはならん。
無論です。使用人一同、心得ております。
そうあってほしい。見回ったところ、これを拾った。これは誰のであるか。
Genji took a master key ring out of his pocket. Apparently, someone had dropped their master key. All the servants swung around to look at me, the usual offender.
なに？またやす？そんな決めつけはいけませんよ。
Yeah, maybe check your own pockets?
私はもちろん持ってるわよ。こんな大事なものを落とすわけがない。みんなは？
持ってます。
持ってる。
ほらやす、あんたじゃない。この間、奥様にきつく絞られたのに、まだ分かってないの？
We might end up with a bit of
こ
egg
れ
on
だ
your
から
face
あ
for
ん
this
た
one.
は。
いつもの我ならば冷たき目線を集めただけで火のあるなしにかかわらず萎縮して謝ってしまうだろう。しかしもう我は違う。だから誇らしげに雲の糸を引くそれを高々と
Yeah, that'll
掲げ
show
る。
him.
ほう、落とさないようにという工夫か。
Good trick.
良い心がけだ。
Genji-sama's face was as expressionless as ever. However, those were unmistakably words of praise.
そうです。もう落とさないんです。だっておまじないがありますからね。
That's right.
我は誇らしくうなずき満面の笑みを浮かべるのだ。この日この時この瞬間の誇らしげな体験は我の幼少の記憶に忘れがたい1ページを刻むこととなる。されば
Good positive
源氏が見つ
reinforcement.
けたる鍵は誰のもの？
Womp womp. There was only one servant who hadn't raised their key. As she muttered, "It has to be Yasu's key. Of course it's not mine." And, fished in her pocket, her face went pale.
日々の仕事に寸分の気の緩みもあってはならん。だが時に失敗はある。それを咎めぬが、己を顧みず、仲間の失敗を決めつける態度は到底褒められたものではない。
申し訳ありません。
How embarrassing. The older servant turned red and hung her head. Behind her, though no one else could see it, was the witch.
我が友はもはや同じことは繰り返さぬぞ。
I need to find someone else to fuck with.
何しろわらわが虎視眈々と狙っているのに一向に隙を見せぬのでな。しかし残念。こやつが鍵をなくしたのなら早速いたずらをしてやればよかった。
Please don't prank people other than me.
何か言った？
No, nothing.
してやったりと思うつもりはないけれど
Oh god.
どんくさいといつもバカにされている我がようやく胸の晴れた一日であった。この日を境にようやく我は後ろ宮家の使用人としての生活に慣れたと自覚できるようになるのである。
褒められると
I mean,
自
you
分
can
は
be a
認
little
められ
smug
た
on
っ
the
て気持ちに
inside.
なるよね。
You know, when people get their just desserts.
大事なことだ。人の成長に欠かせぬ。
人は成長すると
まず余裕が生まれる。それまで本当にこれで正しいのかと怯えながらしていた仕事が自信を持ってなせるようになるのだ。
確かに
Just gotta commit.
気楽になれば余裕も生まれるね。
余裕が生まれると しら。
No, you can
日
think
々を
about other
楽しめ
things.
るようになる。源氏風に言えば、気を緩ませることができるとでも言おうか。
気を張りっぱなしじゃ疲れてしまう。
Mm-hmm.
それは良いことだね。
ってことはそれってつまりサボれるようになるということ？
A little.
サボるといえば聞こえは悪い。
But yeah.
しかし、要領よく仕事をこなし、
Mm-hmm.
余った時間で日々を楽しむことは
It's
決し
like
て
when we're
悪
at
いこと
work.
で
We
は
need
な
to
いぞ。
follow. We have these books called technical orders, TOs. They're basically instruction manuals telling us how to do like every single thing we do. Except for some jobs, we do them all the time. But we still need to have our books open and follow along to do them. But you get to a point where you just know the job. So you get your little underling minion to open the book and, you know, follow along. Will you just do it? And you occasionally just glance over to look at it. So instead of like just looking at the book and be like, okay, step 1, I do this. Okay, that's done. Step 2, I do this. Okay, what's next? Step 3, do this. You just go bop, 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 bop. And be like, what's to do here? Glance over, like, okay, bop, 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 bop. And then boom, it's done. You know, 5 minutes instead of, you know, the 30 minutes if you follow the book. Just that little bit of, you know, skillful complacency.
そういう時間は人間を豊かにしてくれるものだ。
そういえばゴーダはよく仕事の合間にクロスワードパズルをしているね。
余った材料で勝手に創作料理を作ったりもしてるわ。
Well, that's a good use of his time.
適度に遊び、気分をリフレッシュさせるのは効率上も悪いことではなかろう。創作料理も遊び心と仕事の融合と言える。
Yeah, he's having fun, but he's also, you know, in case something comes up short notice, he possibly has some contingencies to fall back on.
あの源氏とて誰も見ていぬところでは程よくサボっているはずだぞ。テレビを見たり、主の酒をくすねたり、小難しい本を読んでいたりしているわ。
あの刑事が？
Oh, yeah, of course. Everyone needs their little vices.
要はうまく仕事の合間を縫って要領よく遊ぶということだ。過ぎれば気の緩みとも言われよう。しかし仕事と遊びのメリハリがつけられるようになって初めて人は一人前になるのだ。つまるところ、仕事だけで精一杯なうちは半人前ということよ。
じゃああの子は
See, there's this thing called a
仕
work-life
事の合間
balance.
に遊ぶということを覚えたってこと？
Yeah, I gotta work hard so you can play hard.
あの生真面目な子がサボりを覚えるなんてちょっと考えづらいね。
交流を覚えた。親切にしてくれる熊沢との仲を深め、本の貸し借りとその感想を語り合う関係を得た。
Mm-hmm.
我にも学校にて友人はいたが、仕事の都合もあり、
Yeah, I can't really go over to hang out
友情を深め合うには
when you
至って
work on some remote island.
気取らぬ
They
ジ
have
ェ
to
シ
go
カ
back
も
to right
親し
afterwards.
くしてはくれたが、夏日の幻明もあり、一緒に遊ぶこともできなかった。そんな我にとって、いつも母のように優しくしてくれる熊沢は、最も親しい存在であった。
孫ほども離れた二人のこと。駆け回って遊ぶわけではない。熊沢の趣味に興味を持ったのだ。
熊沢の趣味って何かしら？
I don't know, mackerel? Fucking with people?
本だ。意外かもしれぬが、あの熊沢、
Mm-hmm.
なかなかに推理小説を好んでおった。
どんな本か
Good for the
関
brain,
心を
makes you
持つうちに自分も読んでみることに。
その通りよ。推理小説は読みながらに語らうのもなかなかに楽しい。すでに答えを知る熊沢にしても、若き知性がどのような推理を見せるのか、聞くのはさぞや
Yeah, I
楽し
wonder
か
what
った
kind
に
of
違いある
weirdos, you know, like listening to someone else go through a story when they already know the entire thing, huh? What a bunch of freaks.
無論、いきなり熊沢の読む難解なものから入りはしなかった。まずはおすすめを聞き、学校の図書室から探してきて読んだ。
Yeah, well, yeah, first you start off with the... Oh, God. What are the big serialized books that... It's like The Girl. They're like the mystery books, but they're for like kids in elementary school. I can't remember the name. Fuck. They were all over the all over the camping cabin that my aunt and uncle have that, you know, the family just kind of uses all the time up at the lakes. I can't remember. They're old. They're from like the 60s, I think. Anyway, moving on. I'm not going to bother myself to remember.
使用人室にも持ち込み、休憩の合間などに少しずつ読み進めた。そして新しい推理が浮かぶたびにそれを熊沢に話し、すでに答えを知っている熊沢はニヤニヤと笑いながら
I'm gonna Google it now because it's driving me crazy. I said I wouldn't, but I'm doing it anyway. Kid. Let's go children's mystery book series. 1950s? That was one of the suggestions when I tried to search it. No. Nancy Drew, that's what it was. Nancy Drew. I was thinking of the Boxcar Kids. I'm like, no, that's not it. That's a different book series that they had there.
それが我にとっての楽しい時間だった。
And then you can move on to some, you know, the more advanced stuff.
お風呂行かないの？浴場の時間終わっちゃうよ。
Yeah, just a bit more. Another one of the figures just disappeared.
すっかりミステリー好きになっちゃって、あんまり熱中して読んでると、また興奮して寝つけなくなっちゃうよ。
According to Kumasawa-san, the culprit has already appeared, but I don't have a clue who it is.
それ、どんなお話？
It starts with everyone receiving an invitation to a small island. No boat is coming to pick them up, and one by one, they're being found dead in a way that is connected to the nursery rhyme, and each time one of the figures disappears. It's really interesting. It's almost like a crime happening on Rokujima.
それ、すごく有名な推理小説だよね。最後、犯人がメッセージボトルで真相を告白するまで完全犯罪だったんだっけ。すごいよね。
Mm-hmm. Shh. I'm enjoying myself, so don't spoil me. Go take a bath now. I'll go by myself later.
はいはい。じゃあ後でね。お風呂忘れちゃダメよ。
Yeah, no one likes a stinky kid. Shinnon picked up a change of clothes and smiled amusedly as she left the room. Probably won't be able to read the whole thing tonight. Even though I know that, I just kept turning the pages, unable to find a good place to stop. My new joy, the mystery genre. The mental game of thinking and theorizing. And also talking about it with Kumasawa-san. All of that left me enraptured.
そなたもすっかり本の虫であるな。まあ、熱中して寝不足にでもなってくれれば。わらわもいたずらのしがいがあるというもの。
Easier to misplace things when you're in a daze. If you can't have that, I better find a place to stop soon.
わらわの生まれた太古の時代には推理小説なる娯楽はなかった。そなたの肩越しに読ませてもらっているが、なかなか面白い読み物であるな。
Pieto, who do you think the culprit is?
今読んでいるその本の
Yeah. Who's the center of the message bottle, I wonder?
孤島に犠牲者を呼び寄せし犯人であろうが。
There are only 10 people on this island, and the center of the message bottle is unknown.
島に10人を閉じ込め、どこか遠くでのんきに餓死を待っているに違いあるまい。
No, that's not right. He or she is on the island. They're one of the 10. I just don't know who.
なぜに島には10人しかいないと決まっておるのか？
Because the book said so? That's just how it is. Since if you don't trust that, what you can trust, or it's just one of the assumptions of the mystery genre, or,
島の主であろう？隠し部屋に潜んでおるのかもしれん。あるいは、わらわと同類。
They can just slip between the cracks of the world.
1000年を経た魔女かもしれぬぞ。いやいや、たかだか10人を殺すのにこの手間では1000年は経ておらぬな。この魔女。せいぜい495年程度しか生きていまいぞ。
Locked rooms do appear a lot in mystery novels, and books often use a phrase like it could only conceivably have been done with magic to describe them. And here I am, with a witch right before my eyes. That's a complicated feeling.
密室殺人とは面白いものであるな。オチを読めば、それは人間小説、すなわち推理小説となる。しかしもし、オチを破いて失わせれば、それは魔女小説、すなわち幻想小説となる。
That's one way of looking at it. That's an interesting way of looking at it. So you're saying that there's only a razor-thin margin between human novels and witch novels when it comes to mysteries?
トリックがあれば人間小説になる。なければ魔女小説になる。
Okay.
そなたが読むその本の
Yeah, we've been
最
over
後
this.
のほんの数ページを破り取るだけで、そやつをアンノーンとしてわらわに列する魔女とすることができるわけだ。
That might be surprisingly wise coming from you. So, the culprit of detective novels without an answer is a witch.
この世の闇はすべて我ら魔女のものよ。さすればわらわは全世界古今東西すべての推理小説に犯人として君臨できようぞ。
Yeah, as long as you get rid of the resolution. Except, if you reason it out right and find the true answer, then the witch is done for.
推理小説とやらはやはり面白い。これは実に愉快な思考のゲームであるぞ。
That's right. This is a mental game. You fight against the book, make a theory, and then have debates to battle friends who have also read the book.
いや、魔女と人間の戦いでもあるぞ。わらわの密室殺人という名の魔法を許すか否定するかのミステリーという名のチェスである。
So, I'm not reading a book alone, but playing a game against you?
いかにも。先ほどシャノンが言うにはこの話。
I guess that would make reading a little
ラ
more
ストで
fun.
はメッセージボトルによって真相が明かされるというではないか。つまり、それまでに物語の真相を暴くことができねば、そなたの負けということだ。何しろメッセージボトルがたまたま目につくところに漂着したからよいもの。もしも割れて沈み、誰の目にも触れなかったなら、すなわち、人間には不可能。魔女。
Well, that's a fun way to look at it. A battle between me and the witch. Yeah. I really like thinking of it that way.
これよりわらわは、そなたがそれを読み終えるまで、495年の魔女アンノーンであるぞ。そなたに、我が孤島殺人のトリックが見破れるかな
I seem to be getting into the role. I have formed one theory. You want to play with me, don't you? I've been reading books so much you've gotten lonely.
そうとも言う。
Incidentally, the game Beato and I played with this book ended with my defeat. In the end, I wasn't able to build a satisfying theory, and I had to learn the truth from the message bottle. Luckily, it did manage to drift into human hands. If it had sunk to the bottom of the ocean, as Beato has suggested, I would have had no way of knowing the truth. In other words, I would have been forced to accept that the sender of the message bottle was a witch. Mystery. I once thought of it as just a genre for novels. To think that it could also easily become a fight between witches and humans, truth and fantasy. I was instantly enraptured by this new game. As the months passed by, I read through all the mystery novels in the school library, and started to read mystery novels for adults. I discussed them with Kumasawa. I discussed them with Shannon. I played my game of theory chess, the fight between witches and the truth. How enjoyable those days were. Oh, I am one yet many. Here's to the fun game of the mind that enraptured me. Applause. Clap, 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 clap. Oh, my bones are aching.
第4章新しき日々。
My back's super sore too because I had to change a part that was in a weird place on Friday. And I was like bent over and like I was hanging upside down when I was working. But I was like lying down like flat on the ground, but then I was like in a hole, so like my torso was like contorted. It was rough. But with that, I know it's a little short, but that is where we're going to end here for today. Once again, like, for watching, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring the notification bell. See you guys all next time for the next episode of Umineko, where we will be moving on to Act 4. It's 4 now. We just did 3, so it's going to be 4. These seem to be going by quick, so hopefully, bop, couple episodes, just knock them all out. Hope to see you guys later. Bye. Mwah.